Early Happy New Year to everybody from Iowa. I'm Cousin Shannon. I'm going to be making some of our treats for tonight. It's a little bit early. I have to go call bingo at our casino tonight, so I'm going to be making some of the treats now. So come along with me and I'll show you what we're doing. So the first one we're making, I think I made it at Christmas too, but I'm going to go ahead and do it again. I'm making the chip beef cheese ball. It's a real easy cheese ball and it doesn't have nuts and things that some people don't like. So I'm chopping up a jar of dried beef. We couldn't find that last time, so we had to use the stuff that comes in the little packages. But usually I get the jar. And then you have a cute little drinking cup afterwards for kids. Got little stars on it. Then you take an 8-ounce cream cheese. I left this stuff set out while I was at work this morning. It's almost 2 o'clock. But I left this sit out on the counter so it could soften up while I was at work. Because I wanted to come home and do this before I had to go back. On New Year's Eve, they have bingo with the bosses. I just have to call one game. It's not any major thing. So we're going to put some of the beef in there, and then we're going to save the rest, and we're going to roll the cheese ball in it before we put it in the fridge, or when we take it out of the fridge. So I'm just saving back about a 1/4 cup, not very much. And then you want probably 4 green onions. Depending on the size, you might want more or less. And it depends on how much you like onions. We like onions and garlic. I always peel off the outer layer, even if it doesn't look bad. So whatever the first layer that's on there. So that usually gets all the dirt and everything off of there. I'm gonna slice this one down the middle just so it's a little smaller chunks. You just slice it into really thin slices. It's just gonna be me, Russ, and Becca when I get back, and then Noah will roll in maybe about 2 o'clock after he gets off work. After the New Year's already came in. But I should be back from bingo by 7:30 or so. Because we each just have to call one game. They don't take very long, 5-10 minutes. Just depends on how many bosses are there before me that get up there first. I think there's like 6 or 7 of us doing it. And I think they win a little extra prize if they win when we're calling the games. So we've got like 4 green onions chopped up in there. just a couple of pieces of red bell pepper. You could use red or green. The red is supposed to be healthier for you. I don't know. I've just heard that. I don't have any proof that that's the case, but we use red and we don't use green very often. Something to do with the lectins in them or something, I don't know. If you know, you can leave a comment. Leave a comment anyway. Tell us how you're celebrating your New Year's. It helps our channel out when you comment. Tell us where you're from. Tell us where you're watching from. Give us some recipe ideas. Me and my cousin Tim can look them up and make them. If you want to see us make something in particular. Tim's really good with the smoker. I do most of the baking on the channel. My cousin Tracy likes taking recipes she sees other places and making them a little more healthy. So just give us a shout out and we'll see what we can do. So we've got the cream cheese, the pepper, and then a little Colby Jack. Just a handful, doesn't have to be a whole lot. It's not a very big cheese ball. I'm not making as big a one as I did at Christmas. Then just a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. A couple of tablespoons probably. And garlic. I use granulated garlic. I don't have garlic powder. So whenever I say garlic, it's usually the granulated garlic, unless I guess I might buy some for a special recipe. And then some seasoned salt. You'll want to have a piece of plastic wrap ready for when you make the ball. So you can put it on there. Because once you mix it up, you'll put it in there, and we're going to roll it up into the ball and put it in the fridge so it can chill for a little bit. I'm going to put this meat back into the little jar and put it in the fridge till it's time to roll the ball in it later to serve it. Put it down on the plastic wrap. You can serve this with crackers or celery sticks or whatever sounds good to you. Home cooking. And just use the plastic to make it in the form of ball. there's the ball. I'm going to stick it in the fridge for a little while before I go back to work. I'll roll it in the dried beef and it's ready to go. So this next appetizer is pretty much like the cheese ball. It has a lot of the same ingredients, the red bell pepper, the cream cheese, the green onion, some shredded cheese, but it has a jalapeno pepper, which gives it a little bit of heat. I do seed it, take the seeds and the veins out so it's not roaring hot on your mouth, on your tongue. And I dice them up pretty fine. And I have about a half of a bell pepper here. I'm going to put the cream cheese. And for the wraps, these are tortilla roll-ups. Just call them a wrap. But we are going to put a little sour cream. Probably about a quarter cup. Not a whole lot. Then also some mayo. Same deal, about a quarter cup or so. You can use this mixture, just this right here, for the, I make a veggie pizza that you take a crescent. You'd use this for the topping, and then you chop up vegetables on the top. I'll use the same spoon that I used on the cheese ball. It's got the same stuff in it. And instead of the garlic and we're going to put ranch dressing in. I like 3 or 4 tablespoons. I also put, I don't put the seasoned salt in there because there's enough in the ranch dressing, but I do put garlic. I put garlic in about everything. And then it's about a half of a red bell pepper. It's the other half of what I didn't put in the cheese ball. And then a whole diced jalapeno. And green onions. Again, probably 4 green onions. This one doesn't have the Worcestershire sauce in it. If you wanted to make this into a more hearty appetizer, you could add, when you're rolling up the tortillas, you could add turkey or ham. Add some protein to that. I mean, it's already got cheese and cream cheese. And add a handful, just like the cheese ball, a handful of the cheddar cheese or Colby Jack. You could put pepper jack, whatever you want to put in there. And then I'm going to add some chopped black olives. They're out of the chopped up olives at the store, so I'm going to have to chop them up myself, which is fine. Still tastes the same. How we do those. Just take a tortilla. I'm using the low carb tortillas just because we're used to them now. We've been using them quite a bit lately since Russ has been on his health journey. I need to ask him if I can show a before and after picture of him. He's lost over 100 pounds now. And then you just take the tortilla, roll it up, and then I'm going to put them in the fridge like this, just rolled up, and then later on, when it gets closer to time, after they set up a little bit, I'll slice them into slices. This is one of the family favorites, is the tortilla roll-ups. They're easy to make. it's a big family gathering, we probably would double the amount of cream cheese and some of the ingredients. You could use flour tortilla shells, burrito shells, taco shells, whatever tortillas you got on hand. This made 3 long rolls. And then I'll slice each one into like 12 pieces or even more than that. I don't know how many you get out of each one. But for just the 4 of us, this is plenty. Remember when you lick your fingers if you've been cutting jalapenos. I'm just gonna set these in a Ziploc bag and let them sit in the fridge till it's time to slice them up. I'm gonna get some of this cleaned up and get some dishes done, and I'll get back with you. Oh, son of a... We are gonna do something sweet now for tonight for New Year's Eve. Me and Russ went down to Texas to take my mom down to my sister's, and on the way back, we stopped in the middle of Oklahoma at Reba McIntyre's restaurant. And at the end of the meal, they brought us some cookies. They said these are compliments of Reba. They were shortbread cookies. So I have looked all over because those things were so good for a recipe. I've seen several. All of them said shortbread, Reba's shortbread, or Reba's chocolate chip shortbread cookies. I'm gonna add cranberries because I'm almost positive the ones we had at the restaurant were chocolate chip cranberry. So we're gonna go with that. In this bowl, I have a half a cup of brown sugar, a quarter cup of white sugar, and a cup of salted butter. We're gonna mix these together. I'm not gonna have you listen to my mixer for 5 minutes, but you wanna mix it like 4 to 5 minutes till this is light and fluffy, and then we'll come back on the other side. So this has been mixing for about 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And to it, we're gonna add 2 1/4 cups of flour, and we're gonna do it in 2 batches. So I'm gonna do the 1 cup, and then I'm gonna do the other 1.25 cups off camera, so you're not having to listen to the mixer. So I'm gonna mix in the other 1.25 cups, and then we'll come back. This is a very, very firm dough. It's even tighter than a pie filling, I think. So I'm using mini chocolate chips. The recipes I saw called for 3/4 cups of chocolate chips, so I didn't fill this all the way because I'm putting the cranberries in there. And I use the mini chocolate chips because I think they will go farther in the cookies. Make them a little easier to cut later because you do have to cut these cookies after they've set in the fridge. So there's no egg, there's no baking powder, no baking soda. So you really need to beat the cookies like it says, whip them for 4 to 5 minutes, the sugar and the butter, because I think that's where the lightness comes from. So we've got all the chocolate chips and the cranberries mixed in there, except for what's all over the counter. What we're going to do is divide this dough in half and roll it up into rolls. And you want like about an inch, inch and a half around, and about 6 inches long. And the cookies don't really rise a lot or anything, so what you shape it and how you cut it, that's about how big they're going to be at the end. And you want them pretty firm and tight, not loose. So that's one of the rolls, and I'm going to make 2 of these. And then when you cut the cookies later, you're going to cut them about 1/2 inch slices. This one might be a little bigger than the other one. Wasn't good on the half, but that's all right. Still all works the same. There's my 2 cookie rolls, and I'm going to stick these in the fridge, and then later on tonight when I get back from bingo, I'll turn the oven on to 350. We're going to slice these up and bake them. I sliced up the cookies and I sprinkled a little bit of sea salt on the top, sea salt flakes, and baked them in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes, and this is what they look like. Good morning, everybody. I'm making one of our family favorite appetizers for the holidays. I know the holidays are kind of over now since today's New Year's Day, but I didn't get around to it last night because I had to work a little bit. But I'm making the infamous sausage balls that everybody wants the recipe for, but nobody ever makes that I know of. It takes a lot of time, but in this pot I got a pound of hamburger, a pound of sausage, and a pound of hot sausage, just breakfast sausage, both of them, and then onion and bell pepper. Got that going with some pepper and garlic and Cajun seasoning and some Italian seasoning. And I'm going to put a link in the description to the original video I did last year of this, I think, maybe. But there will be a link down there of the full video. To the hamburger mixture, I'm adding 2 to 3 cans of the tomatoes with the green chilies. You could do 2 to 3 cans or one of the large ones, which is what I put in here, is one of the big cans. You want to let the hamburger and the tomato mixture all simmer for about 20 to 30 minutes so all the ingredients get melded together and it tastes really yummy. So what gave me the idea to do this the morning after New Year's Eve, since I didn't have time to do it last night, is I am taking part of the mixture and I'm going to add about 4 eggs to it and make breakfast burritos for Rebecca and Russ. Put everything in a big colander. The rest of the stuff I'm making the rolls out of, and it's to drain all the liquid out because you don't want any liquid in your rolls. It's definitely something, if you're making the small ones, that you're going to want to make for a big party, because you use the small 10-count buttermilk biscuits and it'll make about 80 rolls. If you want to use bread dough and thaw it out and cut the bread dough in quarters and fill those, you can make like a meal size roll.